Popliteal. Where is the border between femoral and popliteal?
Hiatus
Adductorius. Yes, hiatus adductorius. Hiatus adductorius, it is place where canalis adductorius opens into popliteal fossa. And arteria poplitea. Popliteal artery gives two superior artery for knee joint, arteria genus superior medialis and lateralis, arteria genus inferior medialis and lateralis. All of them goes to network rete articularis genus, the same like what? The same like arteria genus descendens. And from popliteal artery we have arteria genus media, arteria genus media. It is unpaired artery and it not participate in network. It passes through capsule of knee joint, and inside of knee joint it supplies intra-articular structures. For example, ligamentum cruciforme, anterior and posterior. Supplies intra-articular structures, ligaments, for example, in knee joint. After that, popliteal artery subdivides into two. Arteria tibialis posterior, it continues into the canal, canalis cruropopliteus, between musculus tibialis posterior and musculus soleus, and arteria tibialis anterior. Anterior artery passes through opening in membrane, membrana interossa cruris, goes to anterior surface of the leg and descends. Before this opening in membrana interossa, it gives a posterior recurrent genicular artery, arteria recurrens tibialis posterior and arteria recurrens tibialis anterior. Both of them goes to the network rete articularis genus. And posterior tibial artery gives largest branch from posterior tibial artery is arteria fibularis, or another name is arteria peronea. This artery continues into the canal, that is canalis muscula peroneus inferior, and arteria fibularis gives arteria malleolaris posterior lateralis for rete malleolaris lateralis, posterior lateral malleolar artery, and it gives branch for calcaneus region, ramus calcaneus. What else? Posterior tibial artery, it gives rami muscularis for muscles of the leg. It gives arteria malleolaris posterior medialis for network in the region of medial ankle. And behind of malleolus medialis, posterior tibial artery subdivides into two. Arteria plantaris medialis and arteria plantaris lateralis. Lateral artery is larger than medial. It goes to fifth metatarsal bone, and from here it goes medially, and it participates in plantar arc, arcus plantaris, together with branch from anterior tibial. In a minute I will explain. From this plantar arc start plantar metatarsal arteries, arteria metatarsa plantaris. This plantar metatarsal arteries gives arteria perforantes, and distally from perforantes arteries we speak about common plantar digital arteries, and common plantar digital arteries subdivides into proper plantar digital arteries. If it is 4 metatarsal, in this case first and last gives 2, It gives 3 branches, proper metatarsal. Sometimes maybe 5 plantar metatarsal arteries. In this case, each of them will subdivide into 2. And here between arteria plantaris medialis and arteria plantaris lateralis, sometimes we have anastomosis. In this case, we speak that this is superficial plantar arch, that is anastomosis between lateral and medial plantar arteries. This information is absent in your textbook, but you should remember that we have superficial arch, that is anastomosis between lateral and medial plantar arteries, and deep plantar arch, that is anastomosis between lateral plantar and now anterior tibial, arteria tibialis anterior. It gives arteria malleolaris anterior medialis and arteria malleolaris anterior lateralis for both networks. And it goes to dorsal surface of the foot, and in dorsal surface it has name arteria dorsalis pedis. This is dorsal artery of the foot, arteria dorsalis pedis. Dorsal artery gives arteria tarsa medialis, arteria tarsa lateralis, arteria arcuata, and first metatarsal dorsal artery, and arteria plantaris profunda, deep plantar artery. Arteria plantaris profunda goes to plantar surface and anastomosis with lateral plantar artery, and together they makes plantar arch or deep plantar arch. If you have superficial and deep plantar arches, in your textbook just describes plantar arch, anastomosis between lateral plantar and dorsal artery of the foot. But you should remember that we have 2 arches, deep and superficial. And now, arteria arcuata, which anastomosis with lateral tarsal artery, it gives arteria metatarsa dorsalis, dorsal metatarsal arteries, which anastomosis with plantar metatarsal with the help of arteria perforantes, and dorsal metatarsal subdivides into dorsal digital. In plantar surface, we have plantar metatarsal, plantar common, plantar digital, and proper plantar digital. In dorsal surface, we speak only about dorsal metatarsal and dorsal digital. Clear? First dorsal metatarsal from dorsal artery of the foot, all another dorsal metatarsal arteries from arteria arcuata. Okay. That is all. Popliteal and out of the leg and foot.